Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad bin ZAINISHAM and my metric number is F20B0674.
My name is Muhammad AFFANDI bin SHUKRI and metric number F20B0668.
My name is Aishah Nabila binti Daud and my metric number is F20B0726.
My name is KAMILIA binti ABDUL, number metric F20B0725. We are from group rice. Okay, the definition of agronomic traits, it is a plant height, harvest index, total biomass, number of productive tillers, grain number per spike, spike length, number of kernel per spike, 1000 seed weight and grain weight per spike are some of the agronomic traits that can be measured. Okay, some of the agronomic trait for paddy, it is the rice plant can reach of height 1 until 1.8 meters depending on the type of soil and soil richness. Okay, for the leaf, it is long and slender, measuring about 50 to 100 centimeter in length and 2 until 2.5 centimeter in width. Branching arching to fenderless inflorescence about 30 to 50 centimeter long, produce little one pollinated blooms. The edible seed is a grain that we call is caryopsis, with a length of 5 to 12 millimeters and a thickness of 2 until 3 millimeters per grains. Okay, the example of paddy varieties in Malaysia is Masuri, Kadaria, Makmur, Sekencang, Setanjung, and Siraj.
Now I will continue with the next slide, which is the planting distance and planting system used for paddy planting. Rice crops can be either direct seeded or transplanted. In direct seeding, seeds are sown directly in the field, while in transplanting, seedlings are first raised in seedbed before they are planted in the field. To choose a suitable planting method, we should consider first the locality, second types of soil, 3 rice ecosystem, and also 4 availability of input and labor. Planting system for rice can be either be direct seeded or transplanted. So there is 2 types of system we can use. First, manual planting or using rice transplanter, sowing in nursery at certain age between 18 to 21 days and later transplant to the field. Manual transplanting used to be a common way of establishing the crops in the wetland. For this type, seedling rate is 25 kg per hectare. Paddy should be planted in rows for easier maintenance. For the second system, we can use a spreading or broadcasting system. There is 2 types of broadcast, which is wet or dry broadcast. 80% use wet broadcasting with the help of motorized motor blower. Seeding rate is about 60 kg per hectare and the germination seeds are spread under field saturation condition. For the planting distance, 25 cm times 25 cm for optimal yield.
Next, I will continue about fertilization. Fertilization is an important stage of every cultivation process to get more yields and quality. The rate of fertilization for paddy crop is different depending on the nursery method used, the type of variety grown, and also the soil fertility. Fertilization in the field is done 3 times to change and sow continuously. For both of these cropping methods, the first fertilization consists NPK mixtures and the second and third fertilization are N fertilizer only. Here the rice fertilization technique is done manually by sowing. The distribution distance of throw is 3 meters, and this is the NPK, and the most important fertilizer for the paddy is N, that is green leaves, growth, and also increased seeds and protein content. And then before fertilization is started, the most important things to do, we should remove the weeds that are around the paddy plants, because the weed will compete with the paddy plants for the nutrient. And like we have here is the color chart. This is a color chart used by a rice grower to measure and identify fertilizer elements required by the crop. Usually N or urea fertilizer will be given for the plant when the leaves look pale. And lastly, here are the tools commonly used by farmers to carry out the fertilization process. We have mist blower, we have manual spreading, and also use of technology such as drones. Usually, the use of drone is only for water-soluble fertilizer, and most of the techniques used are using mist blower and manual, because essential fertilizer like NPK and urea come in the form of granules or seed. That's all for fertilizer topics.
Harvesting 80 to 85 day paddy flowering after planting, and on the 110 day it can be harvested. Paddy field need to be dried 40 days before the harvesting process. Divide into two types, traditional and modern technique. For traditional, we use the sickle and threshing bowl. For the modern, we use machine, the combined harvester machine. It can be processed, reaping, threshing, and winnowing in one machine. Difference between traditional and modern. For traditional, take a long time to complete 1 hectare, human labor, and depend on weather condition. For the modern, take 3 hours for 1 hectare, use machine, not affected by weather condition. Next is post-harvest handling. Post-harvest handling is the process which to convert paddy into rice through 9 processes, from harvesting to sale or consumption. Post-harvest handling process. First, harvested. Paddy take 110 days after planting. Next is transportation. Should be sent to the factory before 24 hours to maintain quality. Next is drying to reduce the moisture contents of the rice from 17.6% to 11%. The temperature 37.3 Celsius in order to prevent it being damaged quickly. Next is cleaning to wash dirty found on paddy such as soil, wood. Next is milling. In this milling process, it does all the things like grading, weighing, spreading between rice and husk. Next is packaging. Packaging where we put rice into the sack according to weight type of rice, and storage to store the prepared rice in packaging. Next is transportation to send to the buyer. Lastly, sale or consumption.
What is the yield of paddy rice? Oryza sativa, after threshing and winnowing rice grain, rough rice and rice in the husk are two others named for the same thing, mostly for human consumption. Increase the total amount in metric tons of paddy harvested per hectare of land to boost a farmer's profit margin. Furthermore, because land, labor, and resources are limited in Malaysia and paddy farmers operate on tiny plots of land, the national priority on boosting total national production has been on improving farm yield. Metric ton per hectare is commonly used as a metric of farm production. There are various sorts of yield gaps in agriculture, and a farmer's goal is to close the gap between the potential and actual agricultural produce. According to the FAO, this sort of gap is also known as gap 3, as the figures show below, and can be closed by good farm management, ideal environmental condition, which is soil fertility and climate, rice plant diversity, and seed quality. The determination of yield, which is to be considered for biological varieties, weed, pests, problem soil, water, and soil fertility, and for social economy, cost, credit, tradition, knowledge, and input, and also institution.